Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko 252X3AFG, a mill-finish aluminum thermal barrier saddle type threshold. This is what this is. Now, let's go over it. Part and parcel of this unit is you're going to get two half saddle thresholds, or bump up style, just half saddles. You've got a smaller portion here. Then you'll have a larger and a rigid piece of key stock. But let's go over the dimensional properties first. So the smaller side is 2 inch. Then this is going to be a 1/2 inch tall. Okay. Now, the larger side is going to be 3 inch. And again, it's 1/2 inch tall. Won't measure that. Now, the image below this video is the important dimensional properties about it, but it's showing it assembled, so let's do that now. So I've got the 3 inch piece here. I'm going to have my rigid piece of key stock, as you can see. It's a piece of rigid vinyl. That just slides down. Then you're going to bring your other piece and there is your assembled threshold. Okay. Thermal barrier. There is no transfer of steel from the exterior to the interior. None whatsoever. Okay. That's key and that's crucial. Now, okay, so before we continue on with this threshold, it's literally sent in 3 pieces, and you literally assemble it just like that, and that's the way it's intended to be. So there's no connecting metal. That means that the transfer from an exterior to an interior side elevation is interrupted by this piece of rigid vinyl that doesn't transfer the material, the heat, the weather, as it would through the metal. Basically forcing that energy to jump from material A to material B back to material A, all but retards the transfer of temperature. I recall the first time I saw a thermal break threshold installed, and I was amazed as to how effective it was. Chicago, January, 12 degrees Fahrenheit. The exterior, frozen. I mean, there's ice frozen to the face of the door and the threshold. The interior, while it wasn't room temperature, was, because it was sitting on the floor, was incredibly, significantly closer to room temperature than, obviously any other part of the threshold. I was instantly sold. In my opinion, I was so sold on it that every threshold used on an exterior application should incorporate a thermal barrier. They are significantly more expensive, there's no doubt. But there's no doubt you're certainly not heating up a piece of material like this. And obviously, if you're thinking thermal barrier thresholds, you might be thinking thermal break frames as well. Different conversation, I suppose. Anyway, incredibly effective from my experience. Now, in my installations, I would generally see, the smaller portion, depends on if the door swings in or out. If you're going to get the door to fit right over this area and you're going to seal it out here, you might want to get that broken outer towards the outside. Okay. If you have an in-swing door, depends on where the seal is going to fall into place. But you're going to want to have the break on the interior side of exactly where your door sweep is going to fall into place as well. That's going to be crucial. Please keep that in mind as well. When I've generally seen these, I've seen with the large side, large face towards the exterior is really how I've seen them. Okay. So you've got 5 1/8, you've got 1/2 inch, that's very typical and common. Available in A finish, the mill aluminum finish, D for dark bronze finish, and then G for gold. All of that's anodized on brass. This material might also be available in solid architectural bronze as well. Let's take a look at that before we go any further. So the way that the breakdown of the part number figures for Pemko is that you're going to have two pieces, and they're both inferred in the part number. You're going to have your 252A by 3. So you got your 252, forget the A, 252, X3. If you took a 252 and made it a 253, you'll have a 252, a 253, and then that key stock. And that's how the structure of the part number works. So now 252X3. Okay, it is also available in solid architectural bronze, meaning not aluminum, but solid bronze. And onto that material, you can do a variety of finishes. Mill finish bronze, you'll be able to do satin brass, polished brass, and oil rub bronze as well. Not uncommon to see those either on thermal break thresholds. Okay. Obviously, you're going to use this typically in a commercial application. Exterior hollow metal door is very typical. That half-inch height of the threshold is very compatible with typical 3/4-inch undercuts that you'll see on steel doors. This is going to be available in several different lengths as well. You'll be able to buy this in the site in typical lengths from 2 foot to 8 foot. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. Now the reasoning is this. You can see that there are some holes about 3 inches from the edge. If you had to take this 4-foot piece and cut it down to say 42-inch or 44-inch, very common, you're going to be stuck not only trimming everything to length, but drilling these holes. Not only drilling them, but countersinking them as well. And sometimes the countersink is more of a difficult problem than any other type of operation. So if you ordered a custom length, we'd not only give you the countersinks at the proper distance from the edge, but of course the proper center to center as well. Now, speaking of those screws, pardon me, those holes, screws are included in a complementary finish. They look to be about a number 10 by 1.5 inch flathead wood screw. Okay. There is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full Pemko product catalog and review all things weather stripping related from them, not only in the commercial realm, but residential as well. Thresholds like this, perimeter gasketing, door sweeps, material made of aluminum like this, architectural bronze as mentioned earlier, and stainless steel as well. If you have any questions on the Pemko 252X3AFG thermal break saddle type threshold, saddle, if you use your imagination, it looks somewhat like a saddle, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.